On the news tonight, Governor's wife, Chief Mrs. Obiano, reiterates commitment to eradicating poverty in the state. In Anambra, Aberdeen collaborates with the State Ministry of Basic Education. Over 5,000 IDPs returned to their homes in Zamfara. On the foreign scene tonight, Buddhist monk Nasanara backs 6-year jail term in Sri Lanka. A very good evening to you and welcome to the news. I am Ebere Ugonna. The details of the news as Governor Willie Obiano marks his 63rd birthday anniversary today. Many people in Nigeria and abroad have been sending messages to him congratulating him on attaining a new age. According to a statement signed by the Commissioner for Information and Public Enlightenment, Mr. Sidon Adenoba, Chief Obiano appreciates the messages which have been coming in various forms like telephone calls, text messages, emails, media advertisements, and is very grateful to each and every person who has sent a message or wishes to do so. The statement further says that the governor, however, informs all those who want to sponsor birthday wishes to him in the mass media to instead donate the money to charity, including the Christy Obiano Foundation, which caters for orphans, as he wants to make his 63rd birthday a private affair. The governor will use the opportunity to meditate on the relationship between him and his maker and to thank God for his countless blessings to him and his family over the decades, and will also use the opportunity to reflect on the future of Anambra State and on the Nigerian condition. The statement adds that Governor Obiano would like to appeal to Anambra and their friends across the globe to always remember him, his family, and Anambra State in their thoughts and prayers, so that he will work more and more for the good of all. And away from that, wife of the governor, Chief Mrs. Ebelechukwu Obiano, says her initiative towards poverty eradication and self-reliance among the less privileged in Anambra State remains absolute. Chief Mrs. Obiano was speaking at the kickoff of the 2018 community tour to Orumba North and South at the council's headquarters. Correspondent Daniel Ezigwe's report on that is presented from our studios.
Emphasizing the imperative of ensuring that indigent residents of the state key into the skills and empowerment-based ideals of the Caring Family Enhancement Initiative CAFE, the governor's wife said a batch of 350 persons who have just graduated from a 6-month intensive training on numerous skills will soon be provided with equipment and funds to set up their independent businesses. Chief Mrs. Obiano appealed to pregnant and nursing mothers, especially those residing in the rural areas, to make adequate use of the free medical provisions of the various healthcare centers in their communities, charging them to report to their town's president general or council chairman in the case of lack of vaccines and other medical demands. The Commissioner for Social Welfare, Women and Children Affairs, Lady Ndidi Mezue, noted that provision of home and adequate care for the mentally challenged and their caregivers in Nteje is a clear indication of the First Lady's philanthropic goals.
Last month,
in a speech, the Commissioner for Health, Dr. Joe Akabike, said the emergence of Anambra State as the best state in immunization campaign was as a result of the special health interests of the governor's wife.
We'll be having an immunization about 4 times in a year, but there can hardly be any of them that should not participate. And this is quite unlike what happens in other states. Both His Excellency, the governor himself, the members of the State Executive Council, and indeed the entire people of Anambra State. So it is an honor for all of us.
Earlier in their separate remarks, the chairman, Orumba South Council Area, Barrister Ray Onyegu, and his Orumba North counterpart, Architect Emeka Afoka, highlighted Mrs. Obiano's humanitarian benchmarks as one of the core aspects of the present regime's strongholds. Present at the occasion included the member representing Orumba South at the State House of Assembly, Princess Nikki Ugochukwu, Commissioner for Environment, Architect Mike Okonkwo, his Tourism, Indigenous Arts and Diaspora Affairs counterpart, Princess Sally Mbanefo, party leaders, women groups, among others. Distribution of food items, school bags, mosquito nets, and cash to the less privileged and the fiscally challenged from the 31 towns of the council areas by the governor's wife, as well as presentation of gifts to her by groups and individuals, topped the high points of the tour.
An All Progressives Grand Alliance stakeholder in Anambra South Senatorial District, Prince Nicholas Okachukwu, says the dividends of democracy could only be sustained when the people become more engaged in governance by holding their leaders accountable. Prince Okachukwu made the statement while addressing party leaders and other stakeholders from Ekusigo local government area at Ozobolo. David Okwasili has more.
Becoming more engaged in holding leaders accountable, the one-time member of House of Reps said will be the only way to ensure and institute committed leadership. Prince Okachukwu seeks to represent the senatorial district at the Red Chambers, emphasized that democracy places power on the people, the reason they must always ask questions when necessary, and why leaders, especially those elected, should desist from all forms of dictatorial tendencies. The Abga senatorial hopeful went further to note that the electorate should always seek to elect people who will truly represent the interest of the people, have listening ear, and a track record of true leadership.
Right away, they have it at the back of the mind, or they actually know that there should be representation. And if there should be representation, means you're coming to represent either a section, a town, or whatever. Whichever way you're coming from, you're coming to represent a people. And whatever they want or desire matters. So this is the same election that will bring up a lot of people, representative from the state level and national level, governors of states, and then of course the presidency. It is the season. And I'm presenting myself to my people, going around to tell them I want to represent the Nigerian Senate to accomplish that dream I have for them.
On the Abga manifesto, he said the Igbo must unite under a particular political platform so as to reinvent their position in national politics, regretting that Ndi Igbo have lost their place in national equation because of scattered voices by top Igbo leaders. For the Managing Director, Okat Capital Territory Development Authority, Venerable Amechi Okwosa, and the Managing Director, Anambra State Signage and Advertisement Agency, Chief Jude Emecheta, the All Progressives Grand Alliance, ABGA, must ensure that people they elect to fly their flag at the upcoming election are men and women of integrity who will pursue the interests of the people at all times, stand for the Igbo cause, and protect the manifesto of the party. From Ozobolo, Ekusigo Council area, this is David Okwase reporting for ABS News.
And moving on, Anambra Aberdeen NAA, in collaboration with Anambra State Ministry of Basic Education, has awarded scholarship to 3 best students who took part in the Common Entrance Examination exercise. The inaugural scholarship award presentation, which took place at the Ministry of Basic Education, Jerome Udoji State Secretariat, Oka, was attended by the award nominees, their parents, members of Anambra Aberdeen, a city in Scotland. Chidema Ikanyon filed in the report.
Scholarship award, which is to last for the period of the student's secondary education, must be strictly supervised by the State Ministry of Basic Education through the students' respective schools to check their level of performance. In an address of welcome, the Commissioner, Ministry of Basic Education, Professor Kate Omenoya, appreciated the NAAs for their kind gesture and charged their award recipients to always be of worthy character and performance and desist from all acts that would tarnish the good image of Anambra State. Professor Omenoya said that it is good to key into the Governor Willie Obiano initiative of improving the education system by borrowing a leaf from the Anambra Aberdeen.
What you have done, my brothers from Aberdeen, is keying into His Excellency's vision of being a role model for the nation, being the best in all I do, particularly the things you are naturally good at. Therefore, what you have done is not because you have too much. It's because you want to contribute to the state in the way you know how. And education is one key area you can never go wrong.
In his speech, the Anambra Aberdeen's president, Dr. Nonso Ibenebu, who was represented by a member of the association, Dr. Kingsley Nwozo, explained that the students applied their God-given talents and good amount of hard work to be among the best, urging them to be good flag bearers of the state. He also said that the aim of the scholarship is to help the children in the state government schools and enjoined them to make good use of the privilege, as there are other kids who wish for this scholarship but didn't make it to the top 3, noting that their driving force is the need to render help to Anambra State with a project like scholarships.
After every year, once the candidates are praised and are found wanting or running foul of the terms and conditions of the scholarship, it simply will be withdrawn, because the idea is that every year we will continue to have more beneficiaries.
The award recipients, John Sylvester Nwadialo from Federal Science and Technical College, Oka, who spoke on behalf of others, including Favor Anyora from Urban Secondary School, Mpo, Dominion Okolonji from Federal Government College, Nise, thanked the NAAs, promising to be good ambassadors of the state.
I do not this opportunity, especially to the Ministry of Education. Nevertheless, I owe my thanks to our sponsors who have decided to reward us. May God, His infinite mercy, be with us in Jesus' name.
High point of the scholarship award ceremony include presentation of checks to the 3 best students of the state. From the Jerome Udoji Secretariat, I am Chidemi Kanyon reporting for ABS News.
In a bid to sensitize the public against indiscriminate dumping of refuse on roadsides, the Anambra State Waste Management Authority, as WAMA, is collaborating with market associations in Awka Metropolis on a public awareness campaign. Chibuzo Obidike has more.
The roadwork campaign, which touches all the strategic streets and markets, started from Link Road, Amoenyi, made first stop at Nkwamoenyi through Zik Avenue down to Ikoka and rendered off at Amoobia. It saw Aswama staff and officials of the Ministry of Environment, as well as state security agencies, sharing flyers and educating the citizenry on the best practices in refuge disposal. Addressing journalists at Ikoka roundabout, the managing director of Aswama, Mr. Amechi Akora, frowned at the persisting improper disposal of refuse at unauthorized places. He said the campaign seeks to address the ills, stating categorically that penalty awaits defaulters.
Tell the people to stop this nasty and unhygienic attitude of dumping waste along the road median, and that's what we are commencing today, creating awareness amongst our people, especially those living or doing businesses along the corridor of Koka, Amikwo, Amobia, Amenyi, that this attitude is no longer tolerated. They must look around their vicinities. There are waste bins and receptacles in their locations, and they must begin to make use of them.
Contributing, the Public Relations Officer of Operation Clean and Healthy Anambra, Ocha Brigade, Mr. Anthony Abwafna, noted that they will be stationed around the facilities to ensure full compliance to the directive.
That new heaven they want to achieve, which our governor promised us that the time will come, Anambra State will look like the Dubai of the old. This is what we are going, and I believe after today's sensitization, they will go into action.
In Oka, Chibuzo Obidike, ABS News.
And moving on to our national stories, reports say over 5,000 internally displaced persons have returned to their villages in Zamfara following clearance operation conducted by the military against bandits terrorizing communities in the state. The army had launched Operation Sharon Daji to dislodge the bandits and secure communities that had come under attacks in recent months from bandits hitherto operating freely in the area. The operation, which began on July 1st, 2018, is being conducted across troubled spots in the northwest and north-central parts of the country. The outgoing force commander of the operation, Major General Muhammad, made the disclosure while speaking with journalists shortly after handing over the command to his successor, Major General Stevenson Olabanji, in Gusau on Wednesday. Muhammad said residents displaced by armed bandits, especially around Galadi, Kwadi, and Katuru villages in Zumi and Shinkafi local government areas of the state were back home safely. According to him, the operation has stabilized the affected area and neutralized several bandits, while others on the run are being pursued by troops. And moving on, a 1-month free holiday lesson for over 900 students of Onitsha South 1 constituency is flagged off by the member representing the constituency in the State House of Assembly, Mr. Patrick Anyuna. The holiday lesson, which will hold at Urban Girls Secondary School, Fege, Onitsha, is aimed at enhancing their academic pursuits. House of Assembly correspondent Chukwemeka Modelim has the rest of the report.
The holiday lesson opened, the benefactor, Mr. Patrick Anyuna, explained that the aim of the academic exercise, which has lasted for 3 years, was to keep the students busy and prevent them from engaging in antisocial behavior. He emphasized that the participants are junior and secondary students drawn from various schools in Onitsha South 1 constituency, and that the exercise is his own way of complementing the efforts of their parents in giving them quality education so that they will be useful to the society.
In a nutshell, I'm most grateful to God, who has given me the strength and the wisdom to bring out this lofty idea, which we are celebrating today. I equally want to thank the children for the fact that they came around, enrolled. Without them enrolling, I mean, there is nothing we are doing. We can't do anything. We can't be here today.
On her part, the center coordinator, Mr. Patrick Anyuna, Holiday Lesson Program, Mrs. Antonia Okonkwo, announced that the lawmaker engaged 25 qualified teachers who will teach the students science and arts subjects with the scheme of work for 1 month, and in the end, there will be examination for them. According to her, 150 students that will excel will be offered scholarship by Mr. Anyuna for 1 academic year, adding that the program has helped the beneficiaries advance in their studies in the last 3 years.
I bid on this very program at 2015. Obanyera no Zubo. Onwebedeni salary only. Osiki abidi Ozugbo. Obidi I the first year. All the much interested in English and math. Olu second year Simba, see the poor subject. I tinye Igbo, tinye civic, tinye basic science na JS. Akotando nkuzi. Asi aka ha kwọ ụgwọ registration or Simba. Na registration be free. Material ha ye give for free. Na teachers ni ha ya kwọ ụgwọ.
Expressing his gratitude to the lawmaker, the chairman, Anambra State Universal Basic Education Board, Chief Nzemeka Olise, noted that the program would take the students off the streets and inculcate reading culture in them, and called on others to emulate Mr. Anyuna. In a vote of thanks, one of the participants, Chinaza Ewa, assured the lawmaker that they would make him proud.
Honorable Patrick Anyuna, I want to thank you on behalf of every student here. Thank you for his good deeds. We promise him that at the end of the day, when we succeed, we are going to remember him. We are going to pray for him, for his family, for everybody around him, for the people benefiting from him. We thank him and say, may God give him long life and prosperity in Jesus' name.
Later, the benefactor, Mr. Anyuna, shared learning materials to the students. From Onitsha, Chukwemeka Modelim, ABS News.
And away from that, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has frozen the bank accounts of the Benue State government domiciled in 3 banks. For more on this, here is Success Odoemena.
The freezing of the accounts by the anti-graft agency was a result of investigations which indicated alleged abuse of Benue State security funds. There were concerns that if the accounts remain frozen, the state government may find it difficult to meet its financial obligations, especially the payment of salaries to workers in the state. Confirming that the accounts were frozen, the chief press secretary to the state governor, Mr. Teve Akese, condemned the action by the EFCC, describing it as part of alleged plots to frustrate its efforts after Governor Autumn left the All Progressive Congress. The governor had defected from the ruling party to the People's Democratic Party on July 25 after some youth prevented him from attending a reconciliatory meeting convened by the APC national leadership. Barely 1 week later, 8 members of the APC in the Benue State House of Assembly served an impeachment notice on Governor Autumn.
And moving on to the foreign scene, a Sri Lankan court on Wednesday handed a 6-year jail term to a Buddhist monk accused of inciting violence against Muslims, holding him guilty of contempt just months after he was convicted of intimidating the wife of a missing journalist. The monk, Galagoda Anthethe Nanasara, leads the hardline Bodubala Sena, BBS, or Buddhist Power Force, which government ministers and Muslims have accused of stirring up violence against Muslims and Christians, allegations he has denied. The court sentenced him to 6 years rigorous imprisonment over a 2016 incident when Nanasara interrupted a court hearing on the abduction of the journalist Praget Naligoda, in which ministry and intelligence officials were accused. He shouted at the judge and lawyers because the military officials had not been given bail and threatened Naligoda's wife. The convict intentionally committed the offense to undermine the judiciary. The president of the Court of Appeal, Preti Padman Surasena, said in delivering Wednesday's judgment, adding, found guilty of all charges beyond reasonable doubt. The monk was convicted on 4 counts of contempt of court, receiving terms of 4 years each on the first and the second counts, 6 years on the third, and 5 for the fourth, all to run concurrently. A BBS official told Reuters the group would appeal against Wednesday's ruling. And that's it on ABS Television News tonight. But remember that you can listen to news and programs on ABS from any part of the world by logging onto our website, www.absradiotv.com. Like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/ABS Radio Television. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. And just before we go tonight, a quick reminder of our major stories. Governor's wife, Chief Mrs. Obiano, has reiterated commitment to eradicating poverty in the state. And the Anambra Aberdeen has collaborated with the State Ministry of Basic Education on scholarship. Over 5,000 internally displaced persons have returned to their homes in Zamfara. Another foreign scene, Buddhist monk Nanasara has bagged a 6-year jail term in Sri Lanka. And that's the size of our package tonight. Many thanks for watching. I am Ebere Ugonna. Baby, not going to wow. So you're on night?
Yes.